Welcome to another review. Today we are looking at the Acer Aspire 5 A54-346F. This is a mid-range laptop from Acer. Below the Aspire 5 you also can find the Aspire 3, which is slightly cheaper and also has a different processor. And above the Aspire 5 you also can find the Acer Swift 3, which is more expensive, and then you find other models from Acer which are above the Swift 3. So this is mid-range. It comes with a 40 watt power charger which has an extension cable with grounding, and the charger is quite small and provides 45 watt output, and the plug looks like this. Is quite small. And additionally you also get a free laptop backpack from Acer, which looks like this, a plain black backpack which also has a handle on the top over here, and it has a laptop compartment in here, some places to put pens and notepads and also other items outside of the laptop compartment. And on the outside is another zippered pouch where you can put either the charger or a mouse, and it has a plain Acer logo over here, and you can just zip the bag closed, and it's quite slim, so it probably will even fit under a jacket, for instance if it's raining. The straps are also slightly padded, as well as the back of the bag. Besides Windows 11 pre-installed, you'll also get the classic version of Microsoft Office 2021 Home and Student, as well as Cyberlink's PowerDirector 14 video editor. The laptop is the silver version. There's an Acer logo on the cover, as well as the Aspire logo on the hinge, and the design is quite slim. And here's the charger. It has a wired LAN port, HDMI 2.0, 2 USB ports and 1 USB-C. The USB-C you can use also to charge your phone or connect by cable, but it seems that you cannot charge the laptop using a USB-C. You will still need to use the provided charger. And on the other side there's a light which indicates that the computer is on, and there's also a light which indicates that the computer is charging. And this is the audio plug and another USB port and a Kensington lock. Underneath you can find there are plenty of air vents for the cooling. It also has a built-in ventilation, and on the sides here are probably the speakers, and here are the rubber pads, and you also have rubber pads over here and here. It's for when you open the laptop, the base will be slightly elevated when you open it. So when you open it, it won't be flat on the table, but instead when you open it full, you will see that this part elevates the laptop so it won't touch flat on the table, in order to improve the airflow of the cooling system. That means that there will be more weight on the hinges over here, so I don't know if it lasts long enough for the lifetime of the laptop. But also when you open the laptop, you have to open it with more pressure, especially when you reach a certain angle where the bottom of the screen or the hinge will lift the laptop so it goes up. And this is the maximum angle that you can open the screen. So the normal angle would be around here, and it's still lifted above. So when you type, you will be pushing on the hinges here, I don't know if that's such a good idea, but almost all recent laptops have this kind of design, also from other manufacturers. So there must be a reason for that. I assume is to improve the cooling system, but to the expense of the durability. As you can see, the keyboard is also silver. However, there's also a version in with black keyboard and white characters, but they didn't have that model, so I got this one. And this one also has a backlight for the keys, which light up and will also turn off after a while if it's not used, to preserve energy. As you can see, the lights over here, it's quite clear in the dark, but I'm not really convinced that it's a good idea to have a white keys and slightly whiter characters, because they are more difficult to see. So they should just sell the version with black keys and white characters, which make it more clear to see even in daylight. And this is the mouse pad. The speakers are on the side, and the screen is a full HD resolution screen with 1920 x 1080p resolution. So it's not very high resolution, but that's what you get for this price range. And this is a IPS display, but I still can see the individual pixels from close, and the size is 14-inch, and the processor is 11th generation i3, as you can see over here, and it comes with 8 GB of memory and 512 GB of SSD. The body is mainly made out of plastic, only the back of the lid is made out of aluminium, but they both have the same color, so it looks uniform, and the weight is around 1.4 kilograms, so it's fairly lightweight. They also have a version with a 15.6-inch display, which is also full HD at 1920 x 1080p, but since the screen would be bigger with the same resolution, you will see that the pixels are larger on the bigger display. So if I already can distinguish the pixels on a 14-inch display, probably on a 15-inch display the pixel size will be bigger. It also features a tiny webcam here. I believe it's not so high resolution, but it should be enough for video conferencing, and they probably are also few microphones on the top here, and there's also another heatsink on the top of the keyboard over here. It comes with Windows 11 pre-installed, as well as Microsoft Office 2021. They've also included screws to add a second hard drive. This model from Acer might be not available all around the world. Perhaps it's only targeted for Southeast Asia, so for other parts of the world they might have different versions of a similar model, but I like that they have the arrow keys in the normal inverted T design instead of the square one, so it's easier to find it even without looking. If I would change anything on this laptop, I probably would put AMD Ryzen 5300, which is the Ryzen 3, because it uses less power than the Intel i3 11th generation, but they didn't have this model with the AMD processor. They only had the bigger laptop. The 15-inch version has the AMD Ryzen 5300, but the 14-inch version only comes with the Intel. So I chose the Intel i3. They also have the same version with i5, but that's more expensive. But other than that, this one works pretty well, and the battery should last a couple of hours at least, since it only has a low resolution and i3 processor as opposed to the i5 or i7, which probably consume more battery. So this should last longer than the higher end versions. That was the review of the Acer Aspire 5 A51454346F.